Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. And here I am back again with the Lucent series General Knowledge, that is part 38. We have covered a lot of the topics in the ancient history, medieval history, modern history, and here we are with the modern history and almost reaching to the end of our modern history part of the Lucent series General Knowledge in the history section. So let's get started today with the individual or civil disobedience or the Individual Satyagraha that took place in the year 1940 to 1941. So what happened in this Satyagraha is that when the Congress Working Committee, they had started, or they decided to start the civil disobedience. That was on the October 17, 1940. There was Vinoba Bhave. He was the first satyagrahi, and then he got arrested also on October 21. Like, they started in 17 and he got arrested in 21, and after that many of them also joined and then also got arrested, that is Nehru and Patel. But this movement, or you can say satyagraha, had laid a vast impact on these Indian citizens as it created enthusiasm, and after that Gandhi suspended it. So these are the names, date, important. Then we have the Cripps Mission. What was the Cripps Mission? It was in the year 1942. The British government, they now got the thought that we cannot ignore Indian problems anymore. We have to solve what Indians are facing, or else they won't be tolerating it anymore. Then after the World War, the Britishers were not much profitable, so they suffered a huge loss. So after their failed advances with the Japanese in the Indian borders, then March 7, 1942, Rangoon fell. And what happened? Japan, they had occupied the entire Southeast Asia, so this was quite bad for the British government. So now they thought that let's have some cooperation with the Indians so that they can get help in the World War. Now the British government had sent the Stafford Cripps. He was a member of the British cabinet to India, and he was sent to settle all the problems that were with the Indians. Now he had proposed a dominant status that will be given after the war. Like, okay, so help us in the war, then we will give you a status. But this plea was actually very much oppressive, and this was rejected by all the political leaders, and no party agreed to accept this. Then what happened? The Cripps Mission was just a failure and it had no impact. Now, Quit India movement, 1942. This was in this age. Remember the dates. It's very important to remember the dates and know what was the fact and the names of the leaders and the other such important political leaders. Every name is important. Now, what happened is that there was a meeting at Gwalior Tank, and it was in Bombay, that had passed this resolution, and it was known as Quit India Resolution. Now Gandhiji has asked the British to quit India, and then he gave a call that okay, do or die. Either you free India, or either you give India the freedom they want, or we are ready to die for our country. So then all the prominent leaders like Gandhi, Nehru, Patel, they were arrested, but the rest like J.P. Lohia, Usha Mehta, they had continued the revolutionary struggle, and they had taken place of the leaders who were arrested, and they were fighting against it. Now there was violence throughout the country. There were several government offices that was destroyed. Means when this all procession took place, there was violence, like we need independence at any cost. Even the telegraph wires that were that were used for communication, they were also cut, so that the violators do not have the conversation, or they cannot arrange meetings and all. Now parallel government were formed, like in Balia by Chittu Pandya, first parallel government. We have Tamilnadu, Bengal, Satara, then longest term Talchar, Orissa. Every government of every state had protested against it. Okay, now let's talk about the Gandhiji's fast. What was it? It was in February 10 to March 7, 1943. He undertook a 21 days fast in jail. For almost 21 days he was in this condition, and after 13 days he was obviously his health was deteriorating, and even it was almost evident that his survival won't be of any longer. But he had his moral strength and spiritual stamina, and he had completed that 21 days fast. So this was an answer to the government, like they were condemning all his protests, they were putting violence on the people. So this was just a protest from his side. This was his fast. Remember the days, okay? Then what was the CR formula? It was done by the Chakravarti Rajagopalachari. What he had proposed? He had proposed that a commission should be appointed, and to divide, like in north, south, east, west, to divide the districts in majority, like where the Muslims were there. So, and in all such district, a plebiscite must be there. Like, you know, there should be a separate commission so that the Muslims are divided, and what were the issue of the separation, everything should be notified. And they also will be given freedom, like if they want a sovereign state or separate electorate. Now, when they have highlighted the case of partition, there was agreement also was made, like okay, everything will be done, like safeguarding the defense, commerce, communication, etc. But Muslim League, they demanded for independence, and thus they cooperated in the formation of this provincial government. Jinnah, he had objected because he wanted Congress to accept the two nation theory, and he only wanted the Muslims of the northwest and east of India. Like he didn't want to divide the Muslims in that way, he just wanted the Muslims of these particular place. Now, Wobble Plan and Shimla Conference. This is very important. Shimla Conference is very important. Now, there was war situation in Europe. Okay, but then it had improved. War situation in Europe was improving in the year 1945. Now, India's goodwill, as they needed it against Japan, because you have already, like, they were covering the Southeast Asia part, so they needed India's help. Now, it not only that, even in the country the situation was deteriorating. Like there was severe famines in India, there was a dropping economic situation. So the British government, they was compelled, like, yeah, we need to come up with any such plan to give freedom to the country or solve their country, or else this country is not helping out them and it will be of nowhere. So they sent the Viceroy of India, that time was Lord Wobble. Now they had issued a Wobble plan. Now what was this Wobble plan? That there will be certain changes in the council, and in one of the main changes in the council, that executive council, it will be giving equal representation, like it will give representation to Muslims as well as representation to Hindus as well. And even after this Wobble plan, every Congress members that were arrested were released, and 22 prominent leaders, they had met in Shimla for this Wobble plan. But still again, there was no such mutual decision. Jinnah, he wanted separate electorate, he wanted to accept the national theory, he wanted Muslim League to be included in the executive council, there was communism. So this had no decision in the end. Now, INA trial. These are the names who were put at the trial at the Red Fort. That was Nawaz Khan, Seghal, and Gurubaksh Singh Dhillon. So the Congress tried their best to win the legal battle to save them, the INA prisoners, but they were in the charge of waging war against the King Emperor. So they were in trial. Now Indian public opinion was against them, like they didn't want this trial. So this shook the British government, and they had to, like they were compelled to suspend the sentences that were imposed on the INA convict. And now dissatisfaction was there, like the chief, that was defense advocate, the INA was Bhulabai Desai. Remember this? This will come, the lawyer's name, people on the trial, even the date. Now Azad Hind Fauj, that was Indian National Army. Okay, now after this Japanese, they defeated in Britishers in Southeast Asia, and they captured. They had all taken a lot number of Indian soldiers as prisoners of war. And then in March 1942, conference was there of Indians in Tokyo, and they formed the Indian Independence League. There was a Bangkok conference as well, where Rajbihari Bose was elected the president of the and the INA was formed by Mohan Singh. These are very small, minute information. Very easy, simple words. Just look into it. Subhash Chandra Bose, he had also skipped to birth in 1941, and they had set up an Indian legal league there, and he had joined the INA in Singapore. Raj Bihari had, and after that, when he had joined, he had handed over the leadership to him. So, Provincial Government of India (INA) was formed by Subhash Chandra Bose in Singapore on October 1943. He had 3 fighting brigades named after Subhas, Gandhi, and Nehru. Rani Jhansi Brigade was an exclusive women force. Even women were also included there. But when the Japan was defeated in 1945, the INA also died out. Bose is said to have been killed in an air crash over Taipei, that was Taiwan, when he was returning to Tokyo in August 1945. This was just saying that he might have been killed, but we don't know. Exact evidence is not there. So this was all about today. We are now the Cripps Mission, the Quit India Movement, and many more. So go through it. If you have any problems, comment down and I'll be helping you out. And keep watching our videos on a regular basis. So then take care. See you. Meet in our next video back with again such facts.